Okay, we're going to domain and range today. Tell me something that you know about domain and range. Something that you know about domain and range.
Yes.
Okay, so he said domain and range correspond to x and y. Which one corresponds to x?
Domain.
Yes, and range corresponds to y. So it says here on the line below, each inequality symbol, draw the kind of dot you would use. So under our less than symbol, what kind of dot would you use there?
Total circle.
An open circle. So under less than equal to, you would have closed. Okay, same thing for greater than. It would be open. Greater than equal to would be closed. Okay, we're going to do a compound inequality. We're going to do a compound inequality. Both of those are what kind of circles? Closed circles. So when we put our symbols in, they're going to both have a line underneath of them. Okay, and I go from 0 to 5. So I would read this, 0 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 5. Or you could say x is between 0 and 5. You could say it that way as well. Alright, for the second one, we have two open circles. So that's going to be less than and less than. No equal to's on those. And we go from, is that negative 8?
Yeah.
Negative 8 to positive 2. So you could say negative 8 less than x less than 2, or you could say x is between divided by negative 2. Does it include negative 8 and 2? No. So negative 8 and 2 are not included because we don't have a closed circle here. But in part A, would you include 0 and 5? Yes, because there's a closed circle there, meaning it's also equal to. All right, let's go ahead and do C and D. So C has a mix. We have a closed circle and an open circle. Okay, so since we have the closed circle that comes first, okay, we'll have less than equal to. And the one over here on the right, it's just less than because it's an open circle. You tracking with me? Yeah, okay. So negative 2 comes first, 5 comes second. C, ooh, what do you think about D? What do you think about D?
Infinity.
Infinity. Okay, so we'll say negative infinity is less than x is less than infinity. I am okay if you give me one of these. Does anybody know what that means? An R with like a double stick on it? I could have probably drawn that a little bit better. Does anybody know what that means? It's all real numbers. So you can just give me an R with just an extra line on it. It's called a double stick R. It's all real numbers. Okay, which is the same thing as negative 0. Yeah, so you wouldn't have to write this top one. You could just write the double stick R. Yeah, great question. Okay, any questions for me? All right, let's keep rolling. So we are going to look at sometimes we change our notes around, so give me just a minute. Just gonna grab the right ones. Here we go. This is what you have. Okay. So, if you remember, domain is associated with x. Okay, so we have domain, maybe. What do you think that I stands for?
The item domain.
Think about all the ways we can say input. X. Input. Okay? Domain, input, X. So this would be range, output, y. All of them are the same thing. So if I ask you to list the domain for me, what would you tell me? You would tell me all the x values. If I ask you to list the inputs for me, you list all the x values. Same thing for range and output. Okay, let's do some examples. So flip that page. Okay, first, tell me, is this a function?
No.
No. Why is this not a function?
Zero.
Yes. What specifically is repeated?
Zero.
Yep, we have repeated 0. Okay, go ahead and tell me, what is the domain of this function? Anybody have an idea of how you'd say it? We just list the numbers. So you guys, have you ever made those fancy curly brackets? Okay, give it a try. Give it a shot. See if you can make a curly bracket. Okay, it doesn't need to be beautiful. Mine wasn't that great. Okay, then we just list the numbers. So we list 0. Now, we know that 0 is repeated. We don't need to list it again. We can just list it one time. Okay, so 0, what's the next highest? Oh, sorry, it shouldn't start at 0. What should it start at? We want to go least to greatest. Yeah, oops, -3. Then we can go to 0. What comes next? 1, and then 2, right? Oh, that was a bad curly bracket. That's all right. Not beautiful. Okay, now we're going to do the range. Okay, our lowest value of our range happens to be 1 and 2, 3. Yep. And 9. Now, do you notice that there are more numbers in the range than there are in the domain?
Yes.
Why is that? There was a repeat. Okay, and that's okay if that happens when you list domain and range. Any questions for me?
No.
All right, number 2. Is this function?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, there's no repeats in that x column or that input column. All right, our domain, again, we would list it. 48, 60, 72. Your range, again, list it 4, 5, 6. So if you have a list of values that are not consecutive, what does consecutive mean? Right after the other, so like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be consecutive numbers. But 48, 60, 72, those are not consecutive. If they're not consecutive, you have to make a list. Okay, we're going to get to the other way to write it here in just a minute. All right, function or not? No, why? -8 goes to 2 different y values. This would be no. Okay, I want you to write the domain and range. Remember, you're making a list. Make a list. Okay, we go okay on that one?
Yeah.
I think my curly brackets are getting worse as we go.
I'm just like 30 seconds.
Same.
They're not easy to make. Okay. Next one. Now, this is a little bit different because we have a graph. But I want you to think about, okay, if we traditionally look at a graph, we have lines, right, on that graph. Yes? Okay. So we would call this a scatter plot instead of maybe a traditional graph. Can we agree with that? Okay. So on a scatter plot, would you say our numbers are consecutive? Like every number in between those dots counts or no? So here, you would count 1 and 2, but you wouldn't count like 1.5 unless you connect them. Are you with me on that? So, we're going to say that these are not consecutive numbers, as it's a scatter plot. They're not connected by a line. Okay? But, before we move on, is this a function? You said vertical line test. Yeah, it's a function. Okay, so when you do the domain and range, you have to list your numbers separately because they're not consecutive. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for our domain. You see, if I listed it as 1 to 6, then that implies every number in between those as well. So, 1.5, 2.5, all of those. Okay? Now your range is your set of y values. So that's when we look at this axis right here. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then I skip up to 6. 1. Okay, so that one you were looking at the y values from the y-axis. I promise you it's going to get a little bit more interesting when we get once we get to graphs. Okay, is this a function? Yes, it is. Okay, this is brand new, so I need you to listen. Okay, this is going to be the brand new part where we do domains. I'm going to grab my highlighter just to show you what we're talking about. So domain is which value? X. So we start at 1. Where do we end?
5.
5. Okay, so we would say our domain is from 1 to 5. And we write it just like that with that compound inequality. So we say it includes 1 and 5 because as far as we know, there's a closed circle there. We don't visually see an open circle. So we can include 1 and 5. You okay on the domain for that? Is this new for you? Figured it would be. Okay. So now let's look at range. And here's why I use my highlighter. If you want to use your highlighters or if you need one, I have some that I can get out. I think it makes it easier for you to see what's going on. Okay, so let me grab my highlighter again, and we're going to go range. So we start here. Where's my highest point at? 6. So do you see domain is here, range is here? Okay. So what's my lowest range? My lowest y value?
0.
0, and it goes up to 6. Now watch how I write this. What's different? Yeah, because I'm talking about y values. When we do range, we have to put a y in the middle instead of an x. Okay, last question. Is x equals 6 in the domain?
No.
No. So look up here at your domain. Your domain is only from 1 to 5. So 6 is not in there. Is it a function?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a function. Check that vertical line test. All right, I'm going to grab a highlighter. We start here on the left-hand side, and we end here on the right-hand side. What's my leftmost x value?
-3.
1, 2, yeah, -3. We don't visually see any open circle. So if you don't visually see an open circle, assume that it's closed. All right, what's my right-hand value?
2.
2. Again, don't visually see an open circle, so we're going to assume that it's closed because of the equal to on there. Alrighty. So I'm going to do my highlighter for my range. What's my lowest y value? Yes. Do you see how I'm going from bottom to top? It forces me to do least to greatest. So this would be -3. Don't forget to put a y there. And what's my top? 2. Is y equals 1 in your range?
Yes.
Yeah, it's between -3 and 2. Okay, we're gonna get into some different things here now. Maybe. Okay. What do you notice about this graph that our other graphs did not have?
Rounded.
Okay, it's rounded, yes. That doesn't really affect our domain and range, but there is one thing that does. The arrows. You see the arrows at the top? Okay, that's going to affect our domain and our range. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, is this a function?
Yes.
Sure is. Okay, it passes that vertical line test. All right, domain is from left to right. Do we know where this is going to end? No. So can we pinpoint an x value there?
No.
No. What about our right-hand side?
No.
No. There, if I drew highlighter lines there, I wouldn't really know where to end them. They would just keep pulling out this direction. So when we write the domain, we say negative infinity to infinity, or you can tell me all real numbers with that double stick R. Either way you want to write it, it's fine. Here's the only reason why I highly suggest writing it this way. It's because the rest of your domain and ranges are written in that form, and so it stays, it's consistent for you. Okay, that's why I would advocate for that. But if you're getting it and you're good, you can do double stick R. Okay. Our range. What is our lowest y value? -1. Okay, so our lowest y value is -1. Okay. Now notice I put my line underneath my less than symbol because it includes -1. Okay. If you notice on my infinities, I didn't put my equal to on because there's not a number that I can pinpoint that it would be equal to. Okay. Now here, where does it end for my y-axis? Infinity, right? Those arrows are going to keep one up. So we do an only less than symbol. There's no equal to when it comes to infinity. Does anybody see another way we could write -1 to infinity? Say it. Not negative infinity. Look at this. Focus just on this highlighted part. Could I write that as y is greater than or equal to -1? It's the same exact thing. Okay? So if you're thinking like, I want to write these things a different way, you could just say y is greater than or equal to -1. That means you're dealing with all y values, -1 and greater. Okay? I'm just giving you other ways of writing these so that you're aware of them. I am okay if you just do it the same way every single time. Totally up to you. Okay, is y equals 4 in your range? Yes. Another way you can think about that is 4 is greater than -1. So yeah, it is. All right, I think you can do this one. Try this one on your own. You agree with me?
Yes.
We're good? Why is this a function? Yeah, I don't have two arrows coming from one input, okay? If I had something like this, where there's another one that came from one, that would be an example of those. Or no. Sorry. All right, number 9. Is this a function?
No.
No. This is the first graph that we've seen. If we do vertical line test, that would cross more than one time. So no. not a function. Okay, we can still do domain and range. So let me grab my highlighter again. Okay, so domain, what's my leftmost x value?
-4.
Yep, and it ends at 5. Okay, what about my range? What's my lowest?
Negative.
-3 up to +3. Is x equals 4 in the domain? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is in the domain. Okay, it's not in the range, it's in the domain. Okay, so multiple choice, a lot of times on the OST you'll see multiple choice versions of domain and range questions. So let's take a look at this. Which graph represents a function whose domain is the set of non-negative? What's non-negative mean?
Positive.
Positive. Okay, so let's just replace that. Okay,
Right.
so domain is a set of positive real numbers. So you want all of which values to be positive? X. Okay, are all x values positive here? No. Okay, what about here?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we're on the positive side, negative side. Okay? So you're just looking at the positive side of the x-axis. So now we've narrowed it down. And now we want domain, yeah, that's the key word. Okay? Function. B is not a function, right? It's vertical line tested with crosswise. So C would be your final answer. Anthony was saying best of the middle. So. All right, number 2. The graph of a function, we should say, is shown. What is the domain of the function? Okay, so this is, we haven't written x this way, but you can think it's -4 and greater, right? Because it's going towards infinity on the x-axis. So which one is -4 and greater? It would be A. Another way of looking at that is, well, that's the only answer that has -4 in it. Okay, so you might get something like that that's a little bit easier. The rest is practice, and your solutions are on the very back, so you can check your work as you go. Okay, go ahead and work on that. We are going to do practice tomorrow, and then we will end with a small quiz at the very end of class tomorrow. So practice all class period, and we'll have a small quiz on domain and range at the end of the period tomorrow. Okay, go ahead and get to work. I'll be around if you need any help. Okay, so we didn't have any open circles here. If you have any open circles like these, you'll use these. Also, the other reason you would use these is if you have to. Okay, so if it's anything here. Yeah, right. The arrows are an open circle, you use these.
Also, just it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna take it for you. I'll get it.
Like
Yes, just make sure you stay up. So here is this would be not it's like it's not going to be anymore. That one's all over. So both of them would be